Everybody, Jim Chester,
Ryan Jaycox.
and this guy is with Chiropraise,
Yes.
and he's a real pro. If you guys don't know who he is, go over to chiropraise.com, check out what he's doing. But before we deep dive in talking all things marketing, let's talk a little bit about our admiration for Paul and his team and what he's doing out here in the Pacific Northwest.
I tell you what, one of the reasons why I love coming to Chirofest is, first of all, much higher level of impact right here. I mean, these docs are on fire to make an impact for their communities, and you could feel the energy. I just actually got off stage, amazing environment in there, and the energy in there is so high at Chirofest. That's why if you're watching this, you're probably not here, which is a problem. So 2019, you need to be here.
I agree. And anybody that is out there in the chiropractic circuit like we are, we know a good event.
Yeah.
And seeing the high quality vendors that this attracts too. Talk a little bit about being a vendor here.
Yeah, well, we have our Chiropraise booth here as well, which is awesome. And, I tell you what, I mean, it's just so important. We were just talking about this before we got on camera. I said how an event or an organization treats their vendors is whether or not they'll have vendors the next year. And I mean, I could just tell you, I was talking to Dr. Paul, and he said vendors are way up this year, and I see why. I mean, there's people walking around everywhere, interacting with the vendors. It's an amazing experience. So it's really great because I don't care whether you're a speaker, which they take amazing care, they've done amazing for me there, or you're a vendor, they're taking good care of you here at Chirofest.
Yeah, and then one of the things I've noticed too is even the butts in the seats, everybody's smiling.
Yeah.
Everybody's like going out and enjoying each other's company. Yeah. There's good fellowship here. And, not only the speakers on stage, which is the big draw, but when you have a good community and there's a good culture, that's something that will allow the chiropractic profession to thrive even better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and that's what we were talking about. I love where we were talking right before we jumped on. We were talking about marketing and chiropractic and how chiropractors can make a bigger impact in their community and where that starts. And, you and I were just talking, I said, because I was talking about up on stage about social media. And I said, so many docs are relying on social media right now, and they've lost the fundamentals. And you were talking about screenings, which I love, because I know it sounds weird because docs are like, no more screenings. Guys, listen, we've lost the fundamentals because we've replaced it by the shiny unicorn, right? The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which, by the way, I'll just tell you, doesn't exist unless it's through hard work, because that's just the way it is, right? Chiro hustle, right? You got to hustle to make money and make an impact. And we were just talking about that.
And it's not only that, it's relationship equity.
True.
It's social positioning.
Yep.
It's cultural authority.
It's absolutely
It's
true.
all these things. And it's getting back to the old school methods of marketing too, right?
It absolutely is. One of the things that we teach that we're really big on at Chiropraise is what we call our RISE formula. Our RISE formula is really simple. It's at least 40 new patients a month, 40 PVA, and at least, we really like to see it over $50 on your fee, your cost per, for a patient. And if it's not there, that's $1 million practice. If you're not there and you're not hitting that on a consistent basis, which, by the way, if you're not doing the fundamentals, whether it's in marketing or in business systems, you're going to fall behind and you'll never have consistency in your number. So the associate that you want to hire is going to be tough to hire. It's going to be tough to have any normal level of consistency because you're going to be putting patients in and they're leaving out the back end. And this is why we're talking today so much about the fundamentals of practice growth.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that everybody wants to do is be successful.
Yeah.
And most people just don't have the roadmap to success quite figured out. How does it happen when people start working with you? How quickly can you start getting them success?
Well, I mean, it's a great question, and you're absolutely right. I mean, our average client that works in that RISE program in the first 45 days is $30,000 in clinic revenue just in the first 45 days. So we're talking big clinic revenue, but don't get me wrong, and don't take that for a moment to think that it's, again, the unicorn. It's still work. You still have to work. You have to put the business systems in. You have to put the marketing systems in. And that's why, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but the idea of funnel this and the click funnels and all this stuff and how you're going to dominate on social media. And I love all that, but it's no different than really you going up to your financial advisor saying, hey, I want to retire in 20 years. And they say, put all your stock in Coca-Cola. You'd be like, I need to find a new financial advisor, right? I'm telling you, if that's your marketing approach, you need to find a new marketing advisor, a new business systems advisor, because it's never going to end well. You're going to do this constantly. And how many of you docs have experienced that? Where you're 20 new patients one month, 40 the next, 15 the next, 30 the next. It's all over the place because there's no consistency built into the processes.
And most chiropractors don't go out there to become doctors of 7 to 9 years of schooling to struggle and to not do well.
No, it's exactly right. And I was just talking about this from stage. Anybody watching this right now, you want to make an impact. Now, whether that win's been taken out of your sails a little bit, because I get how that can happen after 15 years of practice and it didn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen. I get it. But it's never too late to dial that heat back up. You are still called to make a bigger impact. I believe you can. And I tell you, I love to see the light turn on in a doctor's eyes when they finally, I don't care if they're 55 years old, 60 years old, when they do it. What they knew they were called to do the day they graduated, the vision that they originally had, right? It's like the grandiose vision of like, I'm gonna open my doors and all these people are gonna that can happen, right? And you can have the practice of your dreams if you know how to build it, but you have to have the right people in your court, which is why I'm so big on that.
And I always tell people, most people just don't take care of themselves because they don't know where to go or who to trust.
It's true.
And most people don't know how to develop marketing strategies. Why?
Well, they don't know who to trust, and I can't blame them. Do you know? No, and this is a great point. Jim, there are so many people in the chiro world that they're not there for the right reasons, right? So they operate in the space and they're not operating for the right reasons. So there's a lot of chiropractors that I talk to on a daily basis that have been burned by coaches. They've been burned by marketers. They've been burned across the board. And so their guard's way up. And I get it. But there are still genuine people in this industry that have a heart for chiropractic, and they just want to see more doctors serve at the impact that they know they're capable of serving at, and more patients getting under care that we both need. The world needs that.
So this brings me full circle with you. I've never asked you this. Why did you decide to step into the chiropractic space and serve chiropractic?
Okay, I love that one. So, I think, first of all, chiropractic picks you. You don't necessarily pick chiropractic, and depending on where you fall in the chiropractic space can make a big difference on that. Well, I tell you what, my gift was marketing. As much as I would love to rock an atlas, it's not for me. You don't want me doing that, but you do want me giving you marketing advice and marketing strategies. And so, honestly, about 10 years ago, my best friend, Dr. Eric Naputi, got me into this space, and I started helping him with his practice, started helping a bunch more practices, and then that turned into a full, enormous company that spawned from that. And I mean, it's just been where I've fallen into, and I tell you, I love it. I mean, watching practices grow is my passion.
From me to you, since day one, I said, if I can ever help you, don't hesitate. And that's honest. And that's the thing that we all have to realize. I live in the same bubble as you do.
It's true.
But we all have to appreciate and support each other. And we can't say that there's competition in this market because everybody needs high quality people with good marketing and business acumen.
Well, it's absolutely right. And I was talking about that also today. I mean, the idea that, you're going to attract who you're going to attract, and there's what you do really well. There's what we do really well. And there's other marketers out there. They may have different ways of going about it. I don't knock that way, right? I think there's a lot of ways. I think you, the chiropractor, has to pick which way makes the most sense for you, your practice style, and ultimately what you want to achieve. And that's why guys like you and I get along so well. And we have no animosity towards anybody who operates within our space. And that's beautiful. It's the same thing with you chiropractors. Like, you operate in a city that you're the guy next door that's a chiropractor. You're going to attract who you're going to attract. They're going to attract who they're going to attract. But both of you can serve at a higher level. So both can be serving bigger, but you're not in competition with each other. Go, come on. How many people are on this globe right now that needs chiropractic? So if you're in a city of 50,000 people, well, great. Give that guy 25,000. You get to keep 25,000.
Yeah, and that's just it. Is we're all more alike than we are different.
It's true.
And that's an Ed Osborne quote. I can't take that from him, but he was my mentor. He's the guy that taught me how to do all this live streaming stuff.
That's awesome.
So understanding where we've come from and where we're going.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
Gosh, next for us is honestly, I've been so blessed by being able to go out and do all these speeches, whether it's Mile High I was just at, here at Chirofest as a keynote here, getting ready to go to Genesis with Dr. Stuart Warner. Stu Warner, amazing guy, him and his wife, big into pediatrics. I'm gonna speak on that stage there. Honestly, I just want to get my message out. I don't really care whether or not people join my company. Really what I'm trying to do is just it's my give back. This profession has been so good to me, and I just want to give back to it. I want to help as many doctors achieve higher levels of success as possible.
And that's developing market equity.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You go palm to palm.
Yeah, that's
you
exactly
meet people.
right. Yeah.
Then you go heart to heart with them.
Yep.
And then you go knee to knee.
It's true.
That's a cycle that is in my mind that most people want.
It's
but most people don't know how to represent themselves emotionally with their language.
Yeah.
And they fall short of getting what they want because they don't know how to tell that story. But I will tell you that if people just trust people that understand the emotional resonance with language and they understand the copywriting and the strategies and the check-ins and when to call people back, those type of things, and how to actually flow from the acquisition to the lifetime client.
I mean, and this is where it's so important. The team you have, the team you guys have is so important. Well, who we got to con? These guys make pretty websites. Thank you, Matt. The team, we appreciate that. The team that you choose, this is about leveraging, right? Any great business has teams. They have an organizational chart. Doc, you are meant to be the CEO potentially of your company. Maybe you don't even adjust. Maybe you eventually move up to where you are just the CEO of your company. But either way, you have leveraged teams that are working. And that's where you have to develop, what does that leverage look like? What does that organizational chart look like? And that's where it's really important. It's exactly what you said. It's very symbiotic. There's a lot of components in this.
So understanding that you guys might not have it all figured out, maybe it's Chiro Hustle that helps you, maybe it's Chiro Praise that helps you. Our websites are both in the description here. I just want to say, Ryan, thank you so much.
Hey, Jim, sincerely, we keep hanging out everywhere we go together. Every conference, this guy's here, and I love it. I love what you give back to the profession, man.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Well, is it okay if we close out?
Absolutely, let's close.
Do you know how I do it?
You can, yeah.
You guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. See you guys.